Okay, Capricorn. So for the month of June, we actually have the Seven of Cups. So what this tells me is that a lot of you are desiring, this is the card of imagination and power, and really a card of creating with your mind, with your imagination, with your creativity, where the sky is the limit. The beauty about this card, though, is that it's also contained. It's a contained power. So I feel like a lot of Capricorns are desiring to kind of branch out from just the logical, practical approach to things. And they're wanting to tap into their creative side, their spiritual side, their intuitive side, because this card also has a lot of purple and blue. And that kind of falls into intuition, the deeper spiritual side. So I feel that a lot of Capricorns for the month of June are really balancing their energies and desiring to come from a place of their emotions. They're tapping more into their emotional nature, which I think is a good thing, because Capricorns can be more reserved and, their feelings are kind of hidden or under the surface. And so a lot of you are saying, you know what? Let's get a little emotional here. I mean, not crazy, because you can tell it's still contained. You're not going to just like let everything go crazy, but you want to tap into more the feminine aspect of yourself, whether you're male or female, that feminine, intuitive, spiritual, creative side, kind of like the right brain versus the left brain. And I feel like that in the month of June, that's kind of where you're wanting to create from and start from. So I feel like a lot of you have a lot of ideas. You're probably ready to start something new, or you're also ready to face a current situation in a different way. I feel that many of you have tried doing it one way, and that way hasn't been working out too well. And so now you're ready to tap into this new way of thinking or feeling. This is more of a feeling approach. And the beauty with that is that, our minds and our logic can tell us some things, but our emotions and our intuition is like a whole nother world. And really, when it comes to your emotions and your intuition, it's like the ocean. It's like the options are endless. So that's the beautiful part here, is that I feel like you're tapping into your own creative potential and your own creative power and the ability that you have to create any reality that you desire. Any project that you're facing, any situation, you have this creative, intuitive potential. And I feel like you're embracing it, and that's what you're desiring for the month of June for many of you. So pretty awesome. As far as what you're identifying with and what you value with others, we actually have the Seven of Pentacles, and this is the card of progress. It's an earth sign, so Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. And what Capricorn likes to see is they like to see that if they put in the effort, they're going to get a result. They like to see results for their efforts, basically. And who wouldn't? But they want to see a practical, tangible, if I do A, I'm going to get B. If I do B, I'm going to get C. If you put in the time and the effort, eventually you're going to reap a harvest. You're going to get a result. You're going to make progress. I feel like for Capricorn, it's really about that progress that they identify with. They're not afraid to work. They're not afraid. They know that success is a journey. And they almost kind of delight in that journey. It's almost what feeds their soul, is that progression. That step-by-step process is very gratifying and very fulfilling for the Capricorn. So you're going to value and identify with other signs, and Taurus and Virgo are the same. They like to produce results in the physical world. I know for a lot of Capricorns, it's like talk is cheap, but action, show me by your words. Don't just tell me. If your words and your actions don't line up, you can talk all you want, but it's your actions that are going to prove to me what you're saying. And so they want to see that result in the physical world. And so this is what you're identifying with. This is what you value. You value when progress and things get done, when people do what they say they're going to do, when things get accomplished. You value accomplishments. You value growth. And this also has to do with finance and investments and long-term investments and fortune. And so you want to see these things growing. You want to see these things developing. That's what drives you. That's what, that's what wakes you up and you just want to continue. It motivates you, is seeing a progression, getting closer to your goals and your dreams, and seeing it practically unfold before your eyes is very fulfilling, very gratifying for you. And I feel that this is what many of you are doing. As far as what the potential obstacle can be, interestingly enough, we have the King of Pentacles. And what I'm getting from this is that don't let, because this guy's all about money, don't let money or just like the bottom dollar get in the way of the bigger picture. I feel like for the month of June, you know, I mean, money is important and we all need money and we all want money. But if that's your main focus, it's going to, sometimes if that's the first thing that you're thinking about, it's like it's going to attract more lack. I mean, money, and this isn't for all Capricorns, okay? This is just for some. But focus on your passions, and we'll get about what the reading is saying as far as that. But focus more on how you're helping other people. The main thing here is just don't get too focused on the bottom dollar. Don't get too focused on money, because money doesn't really have satisfaction in itself. I mean, it does make people happy, but it can't be the main focus. Like, the main focus has to be helping other people, achieving your goals and dreams. And so I just feel like, I mean, obviously it's okay to want to be rich and want to do well, but this is just saying, don't make that your main focus. Don't make it all about money and dollars and cents, because this guy, it's all he does. He just sits in his office and counts his dollars. I mean, it actually sounds kind of fun, but the universe is just saying there's more to you, Capricorn, than that. There's more depth to you. There's more emotional, you know, things going on with you, and you're already good at this. You're good at success. You're good at calculating, you know, how much money you have in the bank, long-term goals, you know, finances. You're good at that. That comes natural to you. So it's not that this is a bad energy. It's just for the month of June, I feel that other energies are more important for you to focus on. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But this is just saying, don't get caught up in the numbers. Don't get caught up in, you know, if things haven't manifested as quickly as you desire them to be, you know, don't let that get you down. Don't be discouraged. Don't let numbers rule your life. I mean, they're important, but don't let them just be your main focal point. So what should you focus on? The actions to take from the universe, and this is interesting, is the Three of Cups. And this is all about finding emotional answers to questions that you've been having. So if you've been like seeking to learn, to understand, I mean, it's kind of tied into this Seven of Cups here. There's definitely a deeper side of Capricorn that's coming out in the month of June where, like I said, maybe you're tapping more into your spirituality. Maybe you're tapping more into your intuition. I feel that many of you Capricorns are balancing out your energies, and you're seeking to understand things on a more emotional level. Maybe you're looking at different areas of your life that you really haven't considered before. Like maybe you've been all about work, 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 and now you're like, wait a minute, I have a creative side, or I have an intuitive side, or I have an emotional side, because this card is all about like seeking emotional answers, and it's also about celebrating with people and friends and family. It's about emotional happiness. It's about finding things that make you feel emotionally satisfied. Sometimes you can't put a dollar amount on that, you know, just hanging out with your kids, or going out with your girlfriends, or going out with your guy friends, or just, you know, taking a drive down the road, or taking a walk in the park. I mean, it's the simple things that bring us the most emotional satisfaction. And so the action to take is to find those things, you know, ask those questions, ask yourself those questions. What brings me emotional happiness and fulfillment? And do those things. Because if you do that, you know, the money's going to come. But I feel that there's a need for emotional, intuitive kind of seeking on your part as far as what makes you tick, Capricorn, and what really enriches you on a deeper emotional level. And I feel like the month of June is going to be a really great time to do that. You know, it's going to be sunny and warm in most places. You know, just opportunities to just get out, smell the roses, and find out, ask those emotional questions, kind of look within, and, you know, unlock the secrets. You're kind of in this unlocking the secrets. You've got imagination, you have intuition, you're in this kind of emotional time where you're learning, you're discovering, you're opening new doors for yourself. I feel like you're opening new doors that you've never been in before. You're in this kind of self-discovery, and you're learning about the depths of who you are. As far as the attitude to take, No surprise, we have Four of Pentacles, which is security. So what this tells me is that you want to have the attitude of long-term security. This isn't about instant gratification, and I think you know that. So, you know, obviously we all want to be successful like yesterday, but this is about knowing that what you're seeking, Capricorn, is something that's going to fulfill you on a much deeper emotional level. I think sometimes when success is given to people too quickly, they're not really happy because they haven't earned it. They haven't learned the lessons to be able to enjoy it. And so I feel like for you, Capricorn, the thing that's going to bring you greatest joy is to be secure, but to do it in a very stable, long-term, you know, we're talking about long-term security, long-term investments, things that are stable, things that are going to stand the test of time. That's really the attitude that you want to have. You want to look at the big picture, and security is important to you. Emotional, financial, stability. You want to build a legacy for yourself and for others. You want to be like a pillar of society that people can count on and lean on, and you know, have that for yourself. And so this also tells me that what you're doing, the actions you're taking, is going to create this fulfillment on a deep level. I feel like these energies that your hard work, your financial responsibility, your intuition, your emotional seeking, you're building fulfillment for yourself. You're building security for yourself. And so it's more longer term. It's not going to be tomorrow, but you're not looking for that. You know that to get something beautiful, you have to be patient. To have something enduring, it takes work, it takes effort, it can take years. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but you realize that. But in the long run, you're going to be very satisfied. So let's just recap here before we get to the outcome. So for the month of June, I feel that we have the Seven of Cups. Many of you are desiring, you're tapping into a different side of yourself, Capricorn. You're tapping into an imaginative, creative, the sky's the limit. You're looking at things from a different angle, from a different perspective. I feel that many of you are kind of looking at the more spiritual side to yourself, your intuitive side. As far as what you're valuing and what you're identifying with, it's progress. It's in an earth sign. So some of you could be surrounded by Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, but just people that make progress, people that get results. You're not really about flaky, fly-by-night, people that just talk the talk but can't walk the walk. For you, it's all about action and manifesting results in the physical world. As far as what to look out for, we have the King of Pentacles. And so all I get for that is that, you know, obviously this is your energy. So the King of Pentacles is a beautiful sign, but I feel like what the universe is saying is don't just focus on the money. It has to be about a bigger picture than that. It has to be about your soul, your spirit, your heart, your mind, you know, the whole picture. Don't just focus on one side of the equation. And where the universe wants you to take action is where you're going to find emotional answers, emotional fulfillment. I almost feel like you have all these surprises waiting for you, Capricorn. Like you have all these emotional, exciting things waiting around the corner for you, and you hold the key. You just have to open the door. And so this month is a really kind of a brainstorming, a seeking, a discovering, a self-discovering time where you're trying different keys, you're trying different doors, you're seeing, how does this make me feel? How does that make me feel? Those are the actions you want to take. And this also talks about, like I said, spending time with friends and family, connecting with those simple pleasures in life that bring you joy. As far as the attitude, it's about security. It's about long-term security. It's about investing and looking at the big picture, not just doing something that's short-term or instant gratification, but you're looking for personal, deep inner fulfillment on a long-term basis. And then as far as what the outcome is, we actually have the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords, on the surface, it can represent loss. But what I want to let you know is that this is just telling me that Capricorn, you know, in this month or in the coming months, you have to understand you're going to be successful. There's no question about that. You're going to be successful, but some of you are going to have some challenges. And It's basically saying that you need to mentally be ready to handle whatever those challenges are in business or relationships or whatever it is. And I feel that if you balance your energies, your logic and your intuition and your spiritual side, you're going to overcome any obstacle. That's the beauty of this. This is really about overcoming obstacles. And so I feel that if you do what the universe and God is asking you to do, it doesn't matter what gets thrown your way because you're going to overcome it. You're going to be able to know exactly what to do. Your intuition's going to be high. Your logic's going to be pinpoint right on. You're going to have your priorities in balance. You're going to know, because Capricorn is the sign of the mountain goat. They have challenges, but they are always successful in the long term. And so, we attract in our paths what we need in order to be our highest and best self. So some of you are going to be challenged. Some of you are going to be like, okay, how bad do you want this dream? How bad do you want to be successful? How bad do you want this relationship? But if you do your inner spiritual work, you're going to be able to handle that situation, and you're going to handle it with grace and wisdom. And so this also just reminds you to just be ethical in everything that you're doing, and just know that with God and just being in tune and doing the work, that you're going to be successful. There's no doubt about that. And honestly, anyone that's successful has to go through things. You hear those stories about, like, I think the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, he went to like 500 different restaurants with his recipe and they all got denied 500 times. And then like the 501st time he was successful. And now look how incredible, he's like a trillionaire. He's passed away. But the point is that, he had to go through 500 times of that, but eventually he was successful. So that's all I'm picking up on, Capricorn, is that even if you have a challenge, by doing the work, you are going to have the self-mastery to overcome.